Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Desk with Alaya. This is Pratiksha today with you in this episode. And for our guest, we have someone who is a strategist and a leader and a decision maker by day. And by night, you'll catch him playing video games in his room all night sometimes. Joining us today is Andy, Senior Digital Marketing Manager for Home Loan Experts, and Alaya. Let's welcome him.
Thank you for having me. That was very generous. I don't think I'm a crazy strategist or anything, and I don't really play all night. Got kids, so can't do that anymore.
I did not say crazy. You're implying that on yourself.
Oh, that's fine. I am a little bit crazy. You have to be kind of crazy in this role.
Okay, I accept that.
Yeah.
Also, Andy, how long have you been in this company, and how's it going so far for you?
I've been in this company for I think 10 years this year, so it's been quite long.
10 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been going good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be staying. So it's been quite it's been quite a learning journey, starting from being a designer all the way to senior marketing managers.
I was coming to that when I first joined 2.5 years back, almost 3 years back. You were a design manager, and now to this role, you are in a senior management position. I'm sure the things have changed for you, and I'm sure the responsibilities have increased and stuff like that. So, how do you think the transition has been for you within the company, and how are you holding on to that?
Well, as like any transition, right? It's always like, you're doing really well, and then you get promoted, and then boom, new skill. Like it's playing basketball, as our senior managers would say, is you're really good at basketball. Now you need to learn how to swim, right? So it's definitely a learning curve, but just keep learning, accepting the challenges. It's still been pretty good so far from what I can see. So yeah.
Basketballs and swimming. Is that how senior managers talk? I would want to be in one of those meetings.
But yeah, it's better to relate to, right, than being complicated, because if I talk about my world, most people will be like, I don't understand. Will not understand what I'm talking about. So, which is pretty... It saves some time. That's what I can say.
Talking about changes and changes, digital marketing itself is an industry where a lot of things is happening, right? Like updates and such. Also about AI right now, which is really taking over the world, and especially the ads marketing and digital marketing industry. How do you think Alaya and Home Loan Experts is adapting to that? Are we quick enough? Are we getting there, or how is it?
Well, it's hard to tell at this point, right? There's a lot of things happening, especially with AI. We haven't seen what it can do, and it's actually quite scary. But I think so far it's about us as leaders, or as the employees, the specialists in the team. It's their willingness to learn and adapt to the time. It's what's going to make a difference. But overall, I think we're doing okay. The team's really good. They're embracing AI and the other things that are happening. So, yeah.
Also, I think it helps that you are such a pusher, but in a very good way, right? You push us to do these things, and it's not like you'll learn a new thing and you'll keep it to yourself. You like showing it to us, and you want us to work on them and adapt them into our work. So I think that really helps.
Well, yeah, I've got a big thing about that. Like, one of the earliest things I learned is like, knowledge kept to yourself is useless, right? And it feels good to see someone grow, and I think that's one of the benefits, or like one of the big things about being a leader is if you're able to help someone grow, it's a good feeling.
So would you say there is like a huge scope for digital marketers or advertisers in this industry 10 years from now, because how AI is taking over and people are really scared of losing their jobs? Do you think that creates a potential for us, or is it like a threat? What do you think?
I think like any big change, right, it's the failure to adapt that will be the weakness of a person. Right. So AI to me is still a tool, right? If you're able to do, let's say, 5 times the work with AI, then you can do 20 times the work, or things like that. So a person who cannot adapt using AI will be the one that probably be replaced, but I don't think it'll be replacing any role soon. It will optimize and make a few roles more effective, but it's definitely not going to replace people at the moment.
Okay, slightly diverging from this very intense topic. I would like to know how your perspective of seeing the world has changed since you had the twins. Like, have you become, more adaptive and more softer, I would say, because I feel like my parents have definitely become softer as we've grown up, because you have to start seeing the world from our perspective as well, right?
You make me sound really old right now from your perspective.
You are old, Andy.
Okay, so yeah, it's definitely my perspective in things have a little bit changed. Like I have a little bit more empathy, which is pretty good. I think back when I didn't. The main thing that changed for me is I'm able to control my emotions a lot better, because having kids, that's probably the one thing you should be able to learn. You can't just lose your head over something they did, because they're just doing what they think is right. They have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
So I think that's probably the biggest benefit I have from having kids now. That mindset and awareness about how I'm feeling at the time. It's not showing up or anything.
Correct. Also, talking about having kids, you have 15 more kids that you need to control within this organization, all while living in Australia, right? So you have these people from a completely different background, completely different culture that you need to look into, or that you need to handle in sort of a way. So how does being a Filipino-Australian, how do you manage to do that? Like you are controlling 15 Nepali people, not controlling, but then leading and inspiring 15 people while you are there, all the way over there in Australia, right? So how does that work out for you?
I would say sometimes it's very difficult being out of the country and trying to lead a team. But I think the advantage, or I thought was a benefit, is there's several. I think the cultural training here in Alaya is really good. That's really brought some value to me. The other benefit I think I have is Filipino and Nepali culture has kind of similarities in terms
you
of
see that a lot.
Relationships, right? It's very relationship work, which is something I kind of envy at times, where I see everyone's like really close going out. But being able to have seen that part allows me to kind of relate to the employees here and the team here. So yeah, I think that's one of the things I try, and the rest is just learning how about the team, which I think I enjoy the most.
Okay, at first I did not really digest when you said Filipino and Nepali cultures are the same, because I'll tell you why. This one time we were crossing the big road, not there was a zebra crossing, but not like a sky bridge, right? So we were very worried about you getting to the other way safely, and then you were like, it's chill, Philippines is the same, I've been doing this, it's chill. So I was like, no, I'm sure it's not like that. We were very concerned for you.
No, it's exactly the same, right? We have people crossing the road, like the ring road is insane.
I know.
It's a good wake-up call in the morning. But there's a lot of the similarities. Like, I feel very at home walking down the streets here. It's like walking the street of Philippines in Manila, my home. Probably this is probably slightly a little safer, but it's very similar. Especially the people, it's very hospitable, and everyone's like. I actually like the people are very caring, and sometimes I get overwhelmed with that. How the team's very caring about what I'm doing here.
I know.
Yeah, and
Otto mentions that a lot.
I get overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't know how to react to it, because I'm not used to that kind of attention. But yeah, I really appreciate from the team.
So while we're at different cultures and different locations and stuff like that, I'm sure marketing as a whole is very different in Australia than how it is in Nepal, right? But then we do it for two countries simultaneously in a way, because we do marketing for Alaya, and then we do it for home loan experts as well, right? So when you are doing brainstorming on a senior management level, do you feel any differences that you have, differences in choices that you have to make while taking decisions for these two entities, or how is it?
Yeah. Firstly, like, having a good team makes my job a little easier when it comes to social media. I wouldn't be the best source of ideas on how to tackle Nepalese market in terms of what we do in advertising or marketing here, right? Because I'm technically not the target audience. So having a team that really understands how the market is here helps. And then I can just add value in terms of what I know in a technical term or what I've seen. But from Australia wise, the teams are experienced as well, and I think that's where I add the most value, because in terms of my experience in home experts and the previous brand before Alaya, but at the end of the day, it's the collaboration between everyone and using everyone's expertise that makes it really easy. So it's not like a big problem, and it's definitely not a pressure or is all on me, so that makes it nice.
Also, thank you for crediting us very subtly, but it was there.
Yes, of course. I know where credit is due.
And then, like you mentioned, we just recently transformed from actually Nepal to Alaya. So it was like a whole new campaign for us and a whole new overlook, right? As a marketing team, we needed to make sure that we were catering to the why aspects of our brand, like the whole idea of the campaign was surrounded around that, and we have recently stepped up our campaignings and ad games as well. What is your recent favorite campaign that we did with Alaya?
I think my favorite one, to be honest, is A Day in a Life. I really enjoyed that one. It was really good in terms of how the staff got engaged, and I love the creativity. Like, as someone who's from design and marketing, I wouldn't have thought of some of those, right? It's the creativity in that was really good, and I love seeing the engagement of the staff and the employees here, and it's really good bonding. So it just shows that, and it allows other also maybe outside of Alaya to be able to relate to that kind of day in a life, right? And it's really nice.
And you did not partake.
I did. I
tried to push you 100 times.
I did have a few clips, but I haven't been able to compile it together, as really quite busy. I did do a good one, which I got told off by my kids.
It was good.
Right? I got told off by my kids for not being safe and wearing a helmet. But yeah, I love making that video, actually. And making that video made me really appreciate my time here as well.
Okay, so can we expect to see some clips from that video in your Instagram that you've recently created, the one with your personal brandings and stuff?
Yeah, that one. Everyone asks about that personal branding thing. I will post some things in there that I'll try to do a day in life in Sydney, what I go through every day, which I have a feeling a lot of people will be surprised at what my day is.
Now I am
As
intrigued.
a manager, a dad, and a husband. I reckon that would be interesting for some people to see how I do it. But yeah, I'm not promoting my brand, anything like that.
No, you should be promoting your brand.
It's just me having a little bit of fun in terms of my weakness is communication, and self-confidence a little bit. You want to have that confidence, and I wanted to try that by promoting or being in front of camera a little bit more on my own. Yeah, so it's not I'm promoting my brand or anything like that. It's just
we support a little promotion. We like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I wanted to come to that as well, because I feel like you do such a great job at time management, right? Because like I said, you are a senior manager, but then you make time to do the video games that you really like. Like, of course, it's good for you on a personal level, and then they are the twins, and then you make time to come to Nepal to visit your team and stuff like that. How do you manage to do all that? Why? Because you have the same 24 hours that we do, right? And I cannot manage to do anything, right? So how do you do that?
You're doing okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. I think it's what people think is time management is like, something. I've learned time management since I was single or whatever like that. It's just an iteration process. But having kids definitely means I need to learn again, because you can't make the kids work around your time. It's the other way around. So that's a totally new learning curve. But the main thing that allows me to do all this and manage my time a lot is my wife. Like, super amazing. So she takes care of a lot her 3 boys, including me. So this is the sacrifice that she has to make in able for me to do my job really well, or at least try to do it really well. So there is that kind of sacrifice and exchange of something else. But yeah, time management is definitely something that everyone should try and learn. And it is an active process where you have to be quite self-aware on what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobs.
Yeah.
Also, let's say you had like 5 more hours added to your day, right? Do you have that feeling that you're missing out on some things, or like you wish you could do something else with your day? If you had those 5 hours, what would you be doing? And don't say you'd be partying.
I'll probably be sleeping.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Sleeping would be good. But if it's not sleeping, probably spend a little bit more time with my wife would be nice. Priorities, right? She's my priority out of everything. Although you seem to see me a lot, my wife is still my priority in terms of, it does seem like I'm always at work, but yeah, I've got a pretty good work-life balance. Despite what you guys see.
Okay, so this is such a cliche question, but I really want to know where you see yourself in the next, let's not say 10, but 5 years.
Wow.
Would you still be doing digital marketing, or do you have a nick for something else that we don't know about?
I don't, because like my interest is different, right? Like I went from web designer, UX, UI, I just adapt to the change and see where it takes me. If I find that, let's say I jumped into AI and started learning it and really enjoyed it, I'll probably jump into that and become an AI expert or something. But again, I don't know at the moment. I just ride the flow in terms of where I'm enjoying the most. Most important to me is, am I being challenged? More than likely, if I'm bored, that's when I'll go find something else. Right. But at the moment, I'm pretty challenged. So nothing that I can think of, yeah.
Andy, be it in Nepal or Australia, if anybody is trying to get into the digital marketing world, or learn the scopes of it and stuff, what do you think the key skills are that they need to learn prior to exploring the digital marketing world? What are the skills that they would need?
I think if you're a beginner or anything like that, it's just start with the foundation of, let's say, marketing or whatever. It's like it applies to everything, right? Yeah. So designer, marketing, developer, whatever it is, I think understanding that to get a really strong foundation on that core skills allows you to learn things faster. So in that way, just master your foundation. Yeah. But in terms of, if you want to be specific in terms of marketing, right, or from my side, design as well, I think understanding data is really important these days. Being able to make data-driven decisions will make you more valuable. And the other is probably AI. Really learn that and make sure you're not behind into exploring that. Yeah.
Andy loves his AI.
Yeah, it runs my whole life at the moment.
Right. So I had one more question planned for you, but then I forgot to ask. You coming from a design background, right? Do you think that helps with your digital marketing skills overall? Does it make a difference?
Sometimes it does in terms of how I see things, because my specialty was user experience and UI. Being able to see how I think a person will see what we're doing on campaign from their perspective helps sometimes, but it's a totally different area. It definitely helped me in terms of data-driven decisions, and I think what I pushed with the designers here before was like the thought of experimentation, right? That helps as well in marketing. Having that mindset of experiment really fast, fail, then continue is a good mindset to have as well. Okay.
Another cliche question that I have for you. Say like Andy, who was 20 years old, wants to do digital marketing, right? He wants to start back then. What advice would you like to give to him? That could also apply to people looking for opportunities around this area, around this industry. What's that one advice or the couple advices that you'd like to give?
Oh, okay. This is a good one. This is a good question, because I always say this to myself if I was able to talk to myself back then. Biggest thing is to be responsible for your own development. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to learn. Go out there and learn. Don't stop learning. Don't get complacent. Don't get lazy or that you know everything in that field. Keep learning, because the more you learn, to me, is the more. Think about it this way, right? Everything you learn is a tool, and the more things you know, the more tools you have. You can't, hammer a screwdriver, a screw in, right? So it definitely helps, and it opens the more skills you have, the more opportunities you have available for you. I really think that learning, well, in terms of career, how it applies is it's an investment. So you just need to pay up front and see what happens, right? Yeah, that's what I'd tell them.
Okay, so I think this was a really insightful episode. Thank you so much for making time. We know you're really busy and you've been running back and forth, and you have a flight to catch today. Thank you so much for taking time, Andy.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Really enjoyed it.
All right. So I think we'll see you on another episode of Beyond the Desk with Alaya. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to keep following us. And yeah, goodbye.